my top Week 10 defensive streamers, and we will start with Chicago. 43% of rostered on Sleeper, so out there in nearly 60% of leagues. That is less on Yahoo. They're about 60% rostered. ESPN, though, they are also only about 40% rostered. So go out there and check. They are the clear-cut #1 defense to add if they're available in your league, a top 5 defensive play this week, and potentially even #1 on my rankings. They're definitely contending for that, considering the home matchup against the New England Patriots. The Bears defense is just flat out good. 3+ sacks in 6 of 8 games, 2+ turnovers in 6 of 8 games. They've held their opponents under 20 points in, you guessed it, 6 out of 8 games. This is a very strong defense, and they now get a top 5 matchup, 5th in points allowed to defensive positions. And yes, I get May Magic. Awesome last week. Loved what I saw. They're still dead last in total offense, dead last in passing offense, and 30th in overall scoring, ahead of only the Giants and Dolphins. So far are the Patriots. They've allowed 31 sacks on the year, tied for second most, one of the worst lines in the league. And Chicago is 10th in terms of sacks, 23 of them on the year. They're tied for 4th with 15 takeaways. And New England hasn't been the most turnover-prone team, but Drake May, we just saw the 2 picks last week, can get a little reckless at times. So if Chicago's out there, they are far and away the #1 defense. But if not, how about the New York Football Giants? Yes, Washington just absolutely bludgeoned them, made a useless defensive performance there, but they were averaging the Giants 10 points per game across their previous 4, including a 19.7 sack effort against Seattle. In fact, the Giants are #1 in the league in sack rate. They're 15th in the league in pressure rate, and that could cause problems for a bottom 5 line with these Carolina Panthers. Now, the Saints, they did not come through last week as a defensive streamer in this beautiful matchup. That's because they have a bottom 3 pass rush. We're talking about a top 5 pass rush here for the New York Giants, who are 4.5-point favorites there for the London game. So if they get that early lead, pin those ears back, and get after Bryce Young, we could be looking at yet another 6 to 8 sack performance. A masterpiece could be there for the Giants. I think their ceiling is massive. You miss on both of these. Falcons, I don't want to overly endorse them, but a game against New Orleans, who has given the most points up to fantasy defenses across the last 4 weeks, I get it. A few of those games did come with Spencer Rattler at quarterback, but 2 of them did feature Derek Carr, and they've given up 8 or more fantasy points in both of his last few starts. Last time the Falcons played the New Orleans Saints, they had 17 points as a defensive unit, including 2 touchdowns. And now New Orleans is even more barren on the weapons cabinet, with no Chris Olave for the foreseeable future. Dennis Allen getting fired, which might be a boost to this offense, if anything. I don't know how much worse it can get. That's what the issue is with me, is it's not a great defense overall for Atlanta. They're 24th in defensive scoring so far. Middle of the league with those 10 turnovers in defense, but dead last with only 9 sacks. But I think this team could get after this Saints offense. Their line is really banged up. They have no playmakers. Carr is holding the ball at a very high rate, just dinking and dunking to Kamara when he gets under pressure. But we could see some more sacks coming in here. They just had a 3-sack effort against Dallas, did this Falcons defense. They had 3 turnovers against Tampa Bay the week before, so they're starting to heat up. They're starting to cook. I always want to be wary of that interim coach pump. You got a guy named Darren Rizzi coming in here, so that also has to give you a little pause of using the defense against a Darren Rizzi. But he's a special teams coordinator for his career. I don't expect him to inject much life, if anything, into this offense as a whole. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.